Oh. Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another not a Kickstarter critique. This is a list. This is the top 132 push your luck games of all time that I've played. What the heck am I talking about? So, if you've not seen one of these lists before, it's really quite simple. I go to BoardGameGeek.com, I find every single push your luck game ever created, at least according to their database, which is the most comprehensive and the best. If you're not using BoardGameGeek and you like board games, you should totally check it out. I make a big old compilation of every single push your luck game that I have ever played, and right now we're going to rank all of them in the great, the good, the forgettable good, the meh, the forgettable bad, and the bad. Now, there's so many stinking games here, it's kind of ridiculous. I hadn't realized I'd played this many of this particular genre. Now, I do like this genre, but I don't think it's anywhere near my favorite, but as always, we're going to find out as we go through this list exactly how much I like this genre of games. So the first one we're talking about is Codenames. And this goes into the, it used to be in the great category, but for me it has now been bumped down to the good category, purely because I've found a game that I think replaces it for me, and that's Cross Clues. Cross Clues from Blue Orange Games takes away all the stress from Codenames, and it makes it fully cooperative, and it makes it something that I can play with my 7-year-old son, and what's up, Jimmy? And I absolutely love Codenames still, but Cross Clues is better for me, so Codenames has been bumped down into the good. No, I can't do that. It's bottom of the great. It's still great. It's just I found a game that I think is better. It hasn't made the game any worse for me, but I'm still going to put it there. Alright. Solid meh. Yeah, and it's not for everybody. I know some, like my wife hates it. She hates the stress of trying to give those clues. And a lot of people hate the stress of trying to give those clues because if you think about it, there's really only two phases in Codenames. There is, oh my god, I'm waiting for the clue, I'm waiting for the clue, I'm waiting for the clue, but I don't want to sound like a jerk because I know how hard it is to think of the clue. And then the other people who are like, oh my god, I gotta think of a clue, 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 I gotta think of a clue. I still think it's great though for me. Bang the Dice Game, I'm gonna put it at the top of very good. I've talked quite a few times about Bang the Dice Game. I enjoy it, but I don't enjoy it as much as everyone else. But I still think it's a very, very good game, and one that I highly recommend. And I think I need to do a top 6 player games list. Alright, but I'm not going to talk too much about it because I've mentioned a lot of other lists. It's a dice version of Bang, and it is better. Pretty much everyone agrees with that. Now, let's talk about a bad dice game, and you know what? Time has kind of worn off the bad of Space Invaders Dice, so we're going to go to the forgettable bad, because I don't remember why I hated this game, and why I trashed this game in the review, and why I happen to have the first review up of the game, and so of course people are like, it's not that bad! And then the more reviews came out, and people stopped saying that, because they're like, oh, okay. And it was, I think it was the rule book. You know what? I'm pretty sure, I don't remember for a fact, but it was the rule book. And it was not good, and it was not something I wanted to ever play again. As was They Who Were 8. And this one, oh! Okay, so I'm half tempted to put this in the bad. You know what? I am going to put it in the bad because I don't remember why it was so bad. I think it was because it was so freaking boring. I really, but I can't in good conscience put They Were 8 in the forgettable bad category, because I just want you to avoid it. You know, I have to, because I don't remember why it was so bad, but it was super stinking boring, and you can be bad, like, I hate both these games. I really do. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. Let's keep going. We got too many games to dwell too much on the games I hate. Alright, next we got Zombie Dice. You know what? Forget you. You are so boring. Zombie Dice, you are going into the great category. This is a game that I absolutely adore, and I'm going to put it ahead of Codenames. And Codenames does go to the good. I gotta do that. I can't have it in my great category. I don't want Codenames smelling up my great category. That's where Cross Clues goes. That's where the better games go. So Zombie Dice right there, I think it's a great game. It's one of the first games that got me into the hobby. It's one of the first games I ever owned, and I've played it quite literally 100 times. I used to bring this with me everywhere I go. I used to bring it to bars all the time and play it. I love Zombie Dice. Get the School Bus expansion. Not the School Bus expansion. Get the first expansion. Second expansion. Yeah. Alright, then we got Battle for the Souls. This was a forgettable good game. And I don't remember what. I think it was like gods versus demons, and it was deck building, and it was good. I remember being pressure luck, but I don't remember much about it at all. So, forgettable good. I didn't know I enjoyed it. This is Pairs. I'm going to grab it before I forget it, because as you can see, the way this does the files, it kind of splices off the tops and the bottoms on some, and it splices off the sides, because games are not uniform, and there's no good way to do it. But this is Pairs. This is from Cheap Ass Game, and this is a really stinking good card game. And honestly, that goes there. I really, I'm going to do that. I do like Bang the Dice Get Better, but Pairs is a really simple card game that goes to the top of the forgettable good, unfortunately, because I don't remember why it was so stinking good, and I haven't played it in years. I did a review of it, and I was like, oh, I'm keeping this. This is really good. And then it never saw the table again. So, is it that good? Nah, that's forgettable good, Holmes. All right, what do we got? Yahtzee. That goes into the good. I will put it... no, I really do like Yahtzee. Because yes, it is just completely die rolling, but there is some definite strategy there to, oh, should I take the twos here, or should I just bite the bullets on this, or how do I do that? And I do enjoy Yahtzee. I always have enjoyed Yahtzee, and I think it's a testament to how good Yahtzee was for its time, how often we still use that Yahtzee mechanism, the roll 3 times and keeps things. You know, it's something about that. I know this game is made in Indonesia, and it's the biggest. Okay, we'll talk about that later. So what do we got? Dead a Winner. Dead a Winner. Oof. This used to be great for me. It used to be great. Is it still great? That's the question. Because I'm going to make a social deduction list, hopefully, and I look around and I say, okay, yeah, Dead a Winner's top of good for me. It used to be great. It has fallen out, I do believe. Just because I'd rather play Battlestar Galactica, and because there's just more social deduction games out there that I really enjoy, and I don't consider Dead of Winter Press Your Luck that much, but whatevs. I still think it's to the very top of the good category, with the potential to go to the great category. I have not played any of the expansion content, and I know that I think there's 3 big box expansions maybe, so this is one that has tons of stuff to explore. I think there's like a team variant, which I'd love to see. But for now, I'm going to put it at the top of good, because it's the top of the great. You know, you got to be great. Greed! I remember you, a little bit. No, you're forgettable good. It was a little dice rolling game. I did a review, had it in my classroom. It was okay, and that was the end of that. I gave it to a kid who really enjoyed it, and it was quick enough that I would rather play it than Battle for Souls. But I'd still rather go explore Pairs some more, because I think Pairs was a great game. I just don't remember it. All right, red light, green light, Target exclusive. Go check out the Bauer Family Learners. Not Bauer Family Learners. We did a video on this one. I don't remember what it was. Skip the rules. And it was just a game where you were flipping over stuff, and it was either red light, green light, and it was, you know, I hate doing this because it was a game that you can play with 4 and 5-year-olds. But to be honest with you, the 2 times I did play it with a 5-year-old, he didn't like the game at all. Because it had, I don't know, I think it was just the fact that he got a red light the first time and then he threw a fit about it. You know what, I can't go meh. Ugh, do I go meh? Yeah, I go meh. We gotta be honest here. It hasn't gotten played. Whereas, if it was a game that my children absolutely adored, it would be getting played. Especially because it's my kids. They will be vocal. You know, it's not like somebody in your game group. If someone, most of the time in your game group, it's not like, oh, I really want to play Brides and Bribes. Can we play Brides and Bribes? Can we play Brides and Light? Red light, green light. It should be yellow. Yeah, I like that. Good one, Scott. Flip City. Another game that I don't enjoy. I'm putting in the bad. But I will say, I do know a lot of people like this. You know what? That's meh. It's meh. It's meh. I gotta go meh. It was like a deck builder or something, and I played it, and I just still have it over here. I haven't reviewed it, badly enough. A TMG is actually probably going out of business, it looks like. So, not going to be looking for that review anytime soon, so I kind of dodged that one, I guess. Oh, that's terrible. I do love TMG, though. I'm sad to see them go, if they do end up going. And Flip City, it was like, oh, cool, we flip cards over, and that's the mechanism, and it just didn't do it for me. Didn't do it for me. I did not dig it. Played it twice. Was like, no, not for me. I don't think it was bad, and I think most people would probably have it in the forgettable good or the good because it did have a gimmick, but it wasn't a gimmick for me. You know what is a gimmick for me? Tapping a button and just making noise, and that's why Mr. Meeseek's Box of Fun and Truth or Dares is going into the forgettable good or good. I'm gonna go with good. I did enjoy it it. I remember enough about it. It was like a Truth or Dare style game, and it it did the game. If you're not familiar, it's based on an episode of Rick and Morty that has Mr. Meeseeks, and it did a good job of bringing the flavor of the game across. And so I'm going to give it a good for that. And quite honestly, I would rather go visit it than Codenames, because I think everybody would have a fun time in Mr. Meeseeks. I don't think everybody might have a fun time in Codenames. All right, Bell of the Ball. Forgettable good. I don't remember anything about this game. Played it twice. I believe my buddy Jimmy had it. I was like, oh, it's a good game. It's fun. Didn't wow me. It wasn't the theme. The theme didn't grip me, which it doesn't necessarily have to grip me. But it was just, it didn't help, and the gameplay itself just didn't do it for me. So I'm going forgettable good. But I do remember it being short, which means you go on top of this. You go right there. Boom. All right, Hidden Identity Dice Espionage. I swear, this is the third or fourth time I've ranked this freaking game, and every time it annoys me even more. Does this really have all these mechanisms in it? It's forgettable good. I remember a good deal about it. Like, it was a roll, you had these dice, and they were behind this little shield that you had in front of you. It was kind of cool, and people had to guess what your dice were. And actually, now that I talk about the game, maybe I actually kind of did enjoy the game a good deal. And I would rather revisit it than a lot of these games. But I'd still rather go play Pairs. And luckily, I have Pairs over there. I can go play with my son. All right, King of Tokyo. Wow, heavy hitter, top of the grade, beats out zombie dice. Talk about it all day. Played it tons and tons of times. Play tournament in it. I absolutely love King of Tokyo. If you've never played King of Tokyo, then quite honestly, stop this video. Go play King of Tokyo with 3 to 4 people if you can make it happen. And come back. It's that good, and I think it's just a game that is going to just live on in board game lore for decades and decades to come. It's that good. Stay away from the Halloween expansion, though. It doesn't add that much. I would recommend. All right, what do we got? Flag Dash. Wow, low-key great game. This one, I can't put it above Zombie Dice because I got mad respect for Zombie Dice. But Flag Dash is such an underappreciated game. It's one of my favorite team games of all time. It's incredibly tense. It is quite literally capture the flag. You set up this board, and you each have your own special character who has their own unique special abilities. It's very asymmetrical in how your characters work and operate, and the traps they can lay, and they can jump, or they can do all sorts of cool things. And I gotta say, this is one of my favorite team games of all time. Every time you have a 2v2 in this, it is so insanely tense and tension-filled, and I have seen couple, let me rephrase that, not couples, but I've almost seen a couple break up over Flag Dash. That's a dang good game right there. So what do we got next? Let's go to the bad. This one is so bad. This one was absolute crap garbage. And that actually reminds me at the end of the review. This is Dragon Slayer. Let me make sure I get that. Yeah, Dragon Slayer. This one was one that, Indie Board and Cards, I believe it was, pooped out. And it was just, I believe if I recall correctly, there had to be something that was written wrong in the rules. Because it just didn't make any sense, and it was not fun, and it was just a giant pile of just garbage. But I will say, at least with that one, I got to roll dice. And when they were 8, I remember I was just bored. It was like big tarot cards. And God, it was so bad. I hated it. Beowulf. Forgettable good. Head of Battle of the Souls? Yeah, sure. Why not? I know this one was shorter. I still own this. I've never shot any videos on this. But surprisingly, it's actually pretty good. It's a Fantasy Flight one. Back before they really, really, really got humongous. Like they had the last, 5 or 6 years. But this came out, I think, 2000s, maybe, 2008, 2009, I'm going to guess. And it's a good game. Remember, there's tiles. I don't remember anything else about it, so we're going to keep trucking. And apparently that's the key here for me with these Press Your Luck games, is they are somewhat forgettable to me. Which makes sense. A lot of time with Press Your Luck games, they're... I don't know. I'm just talking to my butt. All right, Caro. No. This one was bad. I think I don't remember I put it in meh category last time, but if I did, I was being too kind. It was forgettable bad. I don't remember what was bad about it. It was a 2-player game where you're trying to find like oil, and it had this cool looking tanker in the middle, which was like something that was neat, but it just didn't distract you from the fact that the game was boring. And I shot a video on this one, and I played it. And I remember nobody playing it liked it, and I didn't like it. And Caro goes right here. And it was longer than Space Invaders Dice, so we're going to put it right there at the top of Forgettable Bad. Bermuda Cannons. This one is from Happy Baobab Games, and I don't remember much. No, this is Bermuda Pirate. Excuse me. This is from Foxmine Games. This is a very different game. This one's a really cool family weight game where there's like magnets underneath the board, and you're pushing this little ship to navigate around this board to try and collect gems. But the ship has like a magnet in it, and so if you hit one of the magnets on the board, your ship will like go down, and then the gems in the back of your boat will actually like get thrown out into the water or like sink. It's actually a really cool mechanism. Now, I do remember the components not being as amazing as I wanted them to be, because with a game like this, everything has to be just absolutely on point. But I still think this one is a very good one, and I give it its respect, because I would rather go revisit it than Dead of Winter, because I know Dead of Winter, I will have this game, we'll be almost done with this game before we even start to really get into Dead of Winter. And I think that deserves some respect. And I do remember the kids in my class going absolutely nuts for this game. I remember playing this like 15 or 20 times with the kids in my class because they just thought it was the coolest thing when someone would hit the magnets. And this is one of those games. Man, I do miss playing games in my classroom. This is one of those games where you would have so many people around the table just watching the game, and then when someone would like have their 2 gems go out, they'd be like, "Oh!" and everyone just went crazy. And you know, that's a lot of fun as a kid. So what do we got? Cosmic Wimp Out. This was, if I recall correctly, a very convoluted little dice rolling game that came in all sorts of different packaging. It's from like the 1960s, if you can't tell with the artwork. And it was, you know what? I'm not going to hate here. I remember it being good. I don't remember much about the game, but I do remember it being good. And honestly, I'll slide it right there. I'd really like to go back and revisit that one, because I remember it had some cool like bonus multipliers or something in it, which made it so you were like never out of the game, which is something I really like when you could do, when it's like, oh, I get the perfect combination, I could do it. And it was a well done pressure luck game. I mean, it wasn't great, but it was forgettable good. Garbage Day. All right, this one, once again, I've had to talk about this a couple times. Bad. We're going to put it to the top of bad. I will put it right here. It gets some respect. And the big one issue with this was essentially that if you played any more than 2 players, it was just completely broken. And the more I've talked about this game, the more I remember what I hate about this game, which was, if I recall correctly, if you're playing a 3-player game of this, you would take your cards, and then you would have to put them on top of the garbage can. So you take the lid off the garbage can, and now you're balancing them on top. And it just makes this huge, huge things, and it just more and more and more cards. But if I recall correctly, when the cards would fall down, you were like out of the game. I'm pretty sure this was on my player elimination list. You were out of the game, but then the game doesn't end quickly, because if I recall correctly, the other 2 people then like split all the cards that are left over or something like that, which essentially means they're just starting an entirely new game of it, because most of the time it wasn't just like 1 or 2 cards that would slip out. It was like everything. And so if you played, that's why I remember when I shot this, I was like, dude, no way I would ever play this 4 players. Because essentially you're just playing the same game 3 times, and if you get knocked out the first time, you're not joining in on the last 2 games of it, and it wasn't fun. But as 2 players, it actually was pretty enjoyable. And it could go over at 3 players, depending on how the cards fell out, but it still was not good. Alright, Ticket to Ride. Great, not going to beat around the bush here. Wow. Goes right there for me. I can't believe I'm saying that, but yeah, I still have to play Zombie Dice. Zombie Dice with the Santa Claus expansion, and the it's got the jock and the cheerleader. I love it. I absolutely love it. I mean, there's a reason I played it over 100 times. Ticket to Ride, on the other hand, I still love. It was one of the first big board games that I got when I got into the hobby. I think it was a Christmas present from my mother-in-law, if I recall correctly, and I was just freaking out. I was like, oh my gosh, like a $60 game. My mother-in-law is really good to me. She's an amazing woman. And I love Ticket to Ride. I still own Ticket to Ride. I've taught Ticket to Ride. I've probably taught 50 people to play Ticket to Ride. No exaggeration. It's a go-to gateway for me. And I still enjoy it. I will say, get the 1910 expansion. If you don't have the 1910 expansion, you're not treating yourself to Ticket to Ride goodness. And also, I do like some of the other versions that I've played a little bit more. However, I've not played many of those enough to really speak to them, so you won't see many of those on this list. Okay, let's get to the controversial one. Freedom, the Underground Railroad, which I will say from a design perspective, I put in the great category, and I still do own, but I got to slap at the top of the good, because I haven't played it in quite a while. And in order to be in the great, I have to be able to vividly describe you. And if I recall correctly, I know this was fully cooperative, and you were moving from space to space. You were playing as the slaves who were trying to run away. And I think there was like symbols that you had to match up, I want to say. But honestly, it just hasn't hit the table. It's one of those games that I plan on definitely getting to the table with my my 8-year-old at some point, because we've talked a good deal. I mean, I used to be a teacher, and I did a 2nd grade unit on slavery that was just absolutely hailed because I gave a lot of details that people don't want to talk about, and the kids were just absolutely eating it up because they want to, they want to know about it. We treat it like such a time period where we can't talk about it, and it's like, no, they want to know. Tell them about how terrible, how terrible we were, and it's just that's a whole different soapbox. Don't go to jail. Let's do that. That's always a good one. This is also known as Monopoly Express, if I recall correctly. This is such an odd game. I think, no, there was another Monopoly spin-off the game where you literally were just someone who was trying to feed a parking meter so you wouldn't get your car towed. This is not that. This is one where you're rolling dice, and I believe it might have had a Yahtzee mechanism. And I'm going to put it in the forgettable good because I don't remember exactly what the mechanism was. But it was fun. I did enjoy it. The kids in my class enjoyed it, and I remember it was short, and yeah, I'm actually going right there with it. That's how much I strongly enjoy that game. Didn't keep it, because, I just didn't see it hitting the table that much. But still, forgettable good. And with that theme, honestly, it's not... No, I still can't bump into just the good. Alright, Sanctum. This is a recent one from CGE. And I enjoyed it a good deal. It tries to create a Diablo-esque feel where you're going on this path, you're beating up baddies, you're upgrading your stuff. There's a couple different ways that you were able to get victory points, second graders watching routes. That's a bit too far. I remember we talked about a guy who stole a boat and then pretended to be like white people and like as they went through the ports, and it was just like an absolutely fascinating story. And I don't remember his name off the top of my head, but man, and now he's like, I think he's still alive and he's a senator or something, or a congressperson. It's just a fantastic story. But anywho, Sanctum is good. It's good. I enjoyed it. I remember every time I played it with other people, I always got the impression that they liked it better than me. So I know my buddy Adam would put this in the great category. No, not even thinking about it. For me, I'm going to put it in the good category. And I would still rather get it back to the table than... yeah. I'm going to put Yahtzee ahead of it. Mad respect, Yahtzee. Mad respect. Alright, what do we got next? The Grizzled. Man, this is a game that I really like to play more. Because I'm going to put it in forgettable good. And I know it's one of those games that if I owned it, it might be in the great category. And I feel bad about doing this. But it's just, I've only played it, I think 2 or 3 times, and every time I really enjoyed it. But I don't remember that much about it. I remember you were trying to survive. It was like World War I, and you could like, I remember the artwork was absolutely spectacular, and it was very, very difficult. And these are all things that really check the boxes for me, but I don't remember why. What you were doing. And so there I got to push to the forgettable good, but to the top of the forgettable good. And quite honestly, I don't know if anything's going to go ahead of that in the forgettable good category, because I do think that could be in the great category. Alright, Open Sesame. This one was a meh for me, I do believe. This was it was like a box like this size, and I remember it was about memory. It was a memory game, and you had to like remember the words. And my thing with memory games is I'm really bad at memory games. I don't like any style game where it's just like, let me rephrase that. I do like some style games like that, but most of the time it's a shaky line to walk down when it's just like, oh, if you're really good at memory, you're just going to kick the crap out of everybody in this game. And that's what I remember about Open Sesame. But that being said, I would still much rather play it than this. And you know what? Flip City goes there. I would rather play Red Light, Green Light than Flip City. I didn't actually hate Flip City. I thought it was okay. But okay is mad nowadays. I mean, come on. It's too many hobbies to be talking about okay games. Fruit Ninja. This was, so they had 2 games that they put up on Kickstarter, I believe, and these were not resounding successes. You know what? I'm thinking of a different thing. This was a Target game. So this was a drafting Target game, I do remember, and it was good. Forgettable good. Kids in my class really enjoyed it. I remember there was one little girl in my class that requested this an awful lot, and I probably played this 7 or 8 times in my class, and it was drafting. And it had really simple scoring. But I don't remember much else. And I'd rather go visit Cosmic Whip-Up. Alright, this is Rum. This is one of the pack-a-game series, which comes in like a gum-style pack. Like, literally, it's that small. Most of them are in the meh category. And this one, I remember, had like bottles. And it was, yeah, I don't remember if it was good or bad. Which, I mean, things should go in the meh. It didn't leave a lasting impact on me. And I'll put it right there. Because at least if I'm playing Red Light, Green Light, I know I'm getting that experience with my sons. And I can't say that about rum. So, hey, there you go. All right, Pass the Pigs. This is such a weird one. I'm going to put this one in the good category for one specific reason, which is that I brought this into my classroom, and the kids went absolutely, absolutely, absolutely insane for this game. And it's just a really simple, like, you're rolling pigs, and they can land certain ways, but it was just like the kids would just freak out if the pigs landed on their heads, and they would just go it was like they were watching just gladiatorial fighting. They were just like, yeah! And it was just, I don't get it. Sometimes games just stick with the kids in my classroom, and this was one of them. And for that, I got to put it to the top of good, but for me, it was meh. But I will put it on good there, because, you know, it appealed to its target audience. Tavura! Forgettable Good! This is the follow-up to Zia, Legends of a Drift System, Zaya, which, you know, kind of an odd, this was like a little surfing game, and I don't remember much about the game at all. It came out, and they didn't send me a copy, which they said they would, but hey, I'm used to that as a Kickstarter creator because it's years from now. And quite honestly, I don't remember the game being that good that I actually really want. I probably wouldn't have kept it. But I remember being good. I was like, oh yeah, it's fun. It's a good game. There's surfboards. There were cool surfboards. Where do I rank it? Right there. I know Battle for the Souls was a little bit... No, I'd actually rather... Yeah, that's probably my least... Yeah, that's there. Alright, God, how do I keep having to rate this stupid game? This is fluff. This is Liar's Dice. Except they said, hey, we're going to take Liar's Dice, we're going to make it so it's only 4 players, we're going to make it about weird little animals. And that's not in the spirit of Liar's Dice, because Liar's Dice is a game that gets better with more players. And for that, I got to give it meh, even though it's still Liar's Dice. Yeah, I'm going to go meh. Top of meh. Good for you. Friday, Friedman Freeze. Great little game. This is one where, you know, things you would do would come back and bite you in the butt later. They would have outcomes. Like, they were these double-sided cards, and depending on how the card was, you know, different events would happen, and it was really stinking cool, and it's a solo game that I get, and it's only solo. That's the big thing I want to mention. You're playing as Robinson Crusoe, you know what? And then at the end, you fight pirates, and you never beat the pirates. You never, ever, ever, ever don't beat the pirates. So don't even worry about beating the pirates. You're lucky if you even get to the freaking pirates. That's how hard this game is. But it's a great game. It really is. And I put it right there, because I don't think it's good at Flag Dash, though. Easy Come, Easy Go. Another game. Got played in my classroom an awful lot. I think it's a good game. It is Reiner Knizia, and the basic premise is I think you have to have 3 of these little tiles in the front. They're actually big. They're not little. They're like this size. And they'll have like 3 of a kind, or all your dice are equal below 4, or something like that. And essentially you're just, it's a Yahtzee-esque mechanism where you're trying to roll specific numbers. And I remember, I think there were 0-sided, there was no pipped-sided dice on here, which I remember being unique. And I really thought this was a pretty good game. I don't remember specifically what the tiles were, all of them were, but I remember enough of them putting this in the good category, not the forgettable good. But not a great game, but it is better than Yahtzee. I will say that. And I'd rather play it than Bang the Dice game. Wow, you stop it. Okay, Reiner, you sneaky minx. You sneaky minx, Reiner. Reiner Knizia. I tell you what, I like a lot of his games. Speaking of which, let's go Lost Cities. Let's just pop it up in the great. And that one will go above Zombie Dice. Yep. That's how much I love Lost Cities. I have very special Lost Cities memories with the best man at my wedding who actually passed away. And it's just a game that I've played 30, 40 times. It's another one. It's pretty much my go-to, I said Ticket to Ride is my go-to board game. I would say if there's like a 2-player gateway-style game, Lost Cities is one of my gateway ones. I absolutely always adore going to Lost Cities. And I lose most of the time when I teach it too, which is good. Other people like that. 5-packs. Man, I don't remember why, but this was a pile of crap. And I don't think it ever got made, actually. This was a Kickstarter one. It had 5 little mini-games in it. And you're like, ooh, 5 little mini-games! And it came in a small box, and they weren't... I remember none of the games were good. Like, I remember that being the thing. I was like, oh, this one's okay. Like, that's the best thing. And so that one got a Kickstarter preview. I would rather revisit... but it was shorter than both these. Yeah, it was shorter than both these. Alright, Filibuster. Meh. We did a thoughts from the corner on this one. And it was a game that felt a little bit convoluted, if I recall correctly. And it was about... trying to have a filibuster, and I remember something in the rules just didn't connect thematically, and it just wasn't a game for us. I played it twice, 2 different game groups. Both times reception was, yeah, I'm cool, we don't ever play that again. And for that, yeah, I'd rather honestly go visit revisit Flip City. Because here's the thing with Filibuster. That wound just healed. Like, I still remember that from last year. Flip City, on the other hand, you know what? I don't think Filibuster was that bad. I'm going to put it there. Flip City gets disrespect. Dragon's Cave. This one is a game where it's a family game. And I remember it being very cool. My kids liking it. We did a Bauer Family Learns on it. I remember it was really neat because you actually had like a little treasure chest and you put your treasure inside of it because it was secret information, I think, and the treasure chest looked cool, and my kids liked the game, and I don't remember much else about it. I remember there were colors. So we got to go Forgettable Good, don't we? Man, really not leaving a resounding mark on me with these Pressure Luck games. It was good. It was good, and it was short, and I liked it better than that one. I'll put it right there. Dragon's Cave. What is this one? Rally Roll. This one goes into the good category. No beating around. This is just a lightning quick, absolutely drop-dead, stupid, simple dice rolling game. It came in like a mesh bag. It comes in like that plastic thing right there where they can showcase it to you. But there's also a mesh bag that carries it. And I probably played this game over 100 times. So that's not really that much of a brag because I think it's like a 5-minute game. But I would take this with me on field trips. Pretty much my entire career. Like the 5-6 years that I did the after-school program, I would bring, at least since I got the game, I would bring rally dice with me, and if it was just one-on-one with another kid, and it's like maybe they were in trouble or something, but they weren't in that much trouble, I'd be like, hey, you want to play this game? And it always went over well. I remember there were 3 different colored sided dice on there, and you were trying to get the one that was the hardest so you could score points, and it was good. And I really did enjoy it. 5 minutes. Yeah, right there. Yeah, I do it. Yeah, I put it there. Yeah, I'll put it there. I'm not going to go any further. Dark Tower, my buddy Brandon's favorite game of all time. At least it was when we made our top 100 list, which we're hoping to get to again this year. And if you enjoy my content, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below. So I'm trying to hit 9,000 subscribers to celebrate my 9-year anniversary making YouTube content, and I'm actually really close to my 7,000 subscriber mark. I'm really excited about that. Dark Tower, though, it was a game that was really ahead of its time. So it has this big tower in the middle, and it lights up, and it makes noises. And I have played it one time. And normally, I don't normally put them on there, but this one made such an impression on me. And I saw all I needed to see. I was like, okay, I get it. I get the big gimmick. But for me, I'm going to Forgettable Good. That feels dirty and sacrilegious here. But I don't really remember much of the gameplay at all. And I really don't have that much of a desire to go back and revisit it. So that's Forgettable Good category. I mean, sorry, Brandon. We're going to put it there. I'd rather replay it than Fruit Ninja. All right, Smart 10. This is a great, yeah, we're going to go a great trivia game. Popping it right up here. I will put it all the way at the bottom of the trivia game category. This is one of my favorite go-to back, when we can actually get back to going out to places more routinely, back to bars sort of thing. So essentially there's a question in the middle, and then you have to remove answers around the outside, and you kind of pop them out. And the rig that it comes in, this little orange thing right here, is really well made. I remember when I was doing the video, I was just like slamming it against the table, like, feel how well made this is! Because I like to stress test games. And it was easy to learn, easy to teach, quick, fun, really enjoyable, great little bar trivia game. Smart 10, if you have a smaller group. Check that one out. And you can even make it into a team game. Smugglers. This is a really interesting game from Cosmos, and the people who did, I think it was Klaus Teuber, who did Settlers of Catan, I want to say, along with his son. And this is a really interesting game where you have to try and eyeball the opening of a hole and then make this little clay piece that rolls through the hole, and if it doesn't roll through the hole, you don't get stuff, and then you're also putting, like, gems inside the clay and rolling down the hill. And with an interesting gimmick like that, I have a hard time going Forgettable Good, because I just told you a good deal about the game, so I gotta go with good. Yeah, because I did enjoy it. It was good. It's close to meh. I think a lot of people would think it's meh. But looking at it as a family weight game and not a game night style game, I thought it was good. And I like it better than Past Pigs. I will say that. Alright, and this is my list. Clank! Great game. Great. Press your luck. Head of this, head of that. And this is one that I really want to get to the table more. Yeah, I'll put it right there. And this is one that I want to eventually go through the legacy game. I just love deck building games, and I really do enjoy press your luck mechanisms. I thought, even though apparently I forget them all. And it's just you're essentially going down deeper into the cave and trying. It's a press your luck dice game, and it does a really good job of recreating that. And press your luck deck building game. Excuse me, love that game. Dice of Crowns. I remember this one had really nice components for a Mint-Tin game, and there was you rolled dice. That's all I got. So that's Forgettable Good right there. That's what we got on the Forgettable Good. And I would rather play this than that. I really do like... I think Press Your Luck games for me. I like the appeal of a small Press Your Luck game. But apparently I don't really like... so Zombie Dice. Zombie Dice is the only one. That one's actually a small box game too as well. It's like this size. Alright, Mash and Max. I don't remember how this is Press Your Luck, but sure, why not? This is a forgettable... I still own this game because my kids really, really enjoy it. And it's like this Mash and Max, and you assemble him, and then he spins around, and then he smashes his hand down, and maybe he like smashes his hand. He's got like a little hole in his hand, and he can smash these little woodland creatures. And the more I talk about it, the more I say, you know what, this is kind of a fun game. So I'm going Forgettable Good. You collect berries, and it's you know what, I remember enough of the game. It goes to the good. I'll put it right there. Right there. Yeah, I'd rather play it than Smugglers. But what is that one? End of the Trail. This was a Press Your Luck game that had a cool slip sleeve, and I remember enjoying it, but then it went into the kill closet because it wasn't spectacular. I remember the little micro expansion made it better, and it's Forgettable Good for me. I mean, that's the definition of Forgettable Good when that's all I can tell you about the game, right? Yeah, I think you were bidding on like, no, maybe you weren't bidding. There was like, I don't even know. There were square tiles. Forgettable Good! Here we come! I'd rather play Hide. But I would rather revisit this than all these other games, which, you know what, actually, I'd rather revisit Greed. Because Greed's short. But I would rather revisit Hide. Alright, Ticket to Ride Europe. Okay, this is the only other Ticket to Ride game you're going to see on there, because this one I have played 5, 6, 7 times. A buddy of mine owns it, and I really do enjoy it. And I can't put it ahead of Ticket to Ride. It adds more strategy. Because it adds like this little like route station where you can add these little, I think they were plastic pieces to the board. His might have been upgraded. I don't know. And it was good. It was, but it's Ticket to Ride. And it had the little thing. So I guess I'm going good. I can't go Forgettable Good. I don't think it was great. I think some people would argue that from a gameplay perspective, it is a better game than Ticket to Ride. And so I think a lot of people would put it in the great category. But part of the beauty of Ticket to Ride, for me, is just, it's one of my go-to gateway games. Like, I don't want that added extra little bit of gameplay to explain and to complicate the game. And so, you know what? I'm going to good. And we will go... We'll go right into Freedom. I would rather still revisit Freedom, the Underground Railroad, than Ticket to Ride Europe. Herbaceous Sprouts. I remember there's a couple games from Steve Finn and Eduardo Baraf, and this is one of them. And I think this is the one that's kind of highly ranked on Board Game Geek. I think it's like in the top 1,000. And it's about planting a garden. Oh, yeah. This was the dice rolling one. Okay, yeah, this one goes in the good. Not the Forgettable Good. I remember enough about this one. And actually, it gets bumped. I'll put it ahead of Sanctum. This is one where you're collecting cards. There's all these different colored dice, and you're trying to roll different symbols to, make your garden good. And it was fun. Oh, I can't do it. I don't remember enough about this game to be good. We got to go Forgettable Good. But... second place, the Forgettable Good. Third place, the Forgettable Good is not bad. That's not bad. A lot of games, we're real happy to be up there. They were 8. Nobody's listening to putting that. Dairyman. This was a game that I remember being good, but the rules were bad. It's Tasty Minstrel Games. This is what some people would speculate sank Tasty Minstrel Games is the fact they brought over a whole stinking crap load of these tiny box little games. And I don't think they sold particularly well. Some did, but I imagine a lot did not, because I never heard anything about them, and probably neither did you. And this one, I thought the gameplay was good, but I remember there was something with the rules that just drove me nuts. And so, I want to go in meh. I can't remember exactly what my thoughts were on this game, and in that case, I got to go meh, but I'd like to go top of the meh. Top of the meh. But Forgettable Good's getting too full, so you're going to have to start bringing it if you're going to get into the Forgettable Good, right? King of New York. This one's good. And I kind of put this as the Ticket to Ride Europe sort of conversation, except King of New York didn't just add one extra thing, it added 2 extra things, and that was two extra things that I particularly didn't need. But I still think it is still a good, and I would put it right there. But I do think Tick to Ride Europe is better. I'd rather play that. Abyss, forgettable good. I don't even want to talk about it that much. I remember you're collecting pearls, it had fancy artwork. People were like, oh my gosh, you're going to get like all the different covers for the thing. And then they were like, no, we don't. We're going to, because this game is forgettable. And I do know a lot of people do like this game, and some people will put it as a great game. But here's the thing. Artwork and components, like, I feel like they're great ways to make your game better, but they can't hide the fact that I don't remember the gameplay of this game. And I would rather play Hidden Identity, Dice, Espionage, and Greed. But I would rather revisit than the Trail game. Iron Helm. Great. Great. This is one of my favorite solo games of all time, which means I do like it better than Friday, yeah. And Flag Dash. And that's where I'm going to stop right there. It is really, really good. I believe it's from Grey Gnome Games. It's only available on the Game Crafter. And I tell you what, I need to talk to him, because when he finally does put that on Kickstarter with all the expansions, that thing is going to freaking explode if he runs his Kickstarter well. Like, I'm talking, I would not be surprised to see that in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's how great of a solo game that is, especially with the playmats. Oh, he's already got the playmats and everything. Oh, yeah. Mark my words. One day that is going to be a gigantic Kickstarter, but for now, it is it's in my great category. That's Not Lemonade, another great game, and look at that, we're popping in with the greats. I love it. I love seeing the great games coming up, because I'm tired of all this forgettable crap. Forgettable good, though. It's forgettable good, I guess, yeah. That's Not Lemonade. It goes up to 6 players. It has so many cool things that can happen. The higher player count, it can get to like a sudden death round where nearly everyone at the table could win, which is like a really cool thing. It's dirt simple to learn, dirt simple to teach. You can play it hammered. It's just a really simple game with solo cups. It's like this small, too. I absolutely love That's Not Lemonade, and it is a great little game, but I can't put it... Yeah, that's a hard stop right there for me, I do believe. You know, and you know... yeah, we're going to go there. Truck Off! Rolling Right. Yeah, this one was... meh. It was meh. I got too many of the forgettable good. Because this one... I think I ended up copping out and doing a gameplay on this. I didn't even do a review of it because I played it solo and then I played it 2 players and I was like, yeah, I can do without this. And I would rather go revisit this. Yeah, it goes back to this. I'd rather play this with my kids than Truck Off. It just didn't do it for me. It was based off the other game from Adam Apple's game, which I didn't actually play, the original Truck Off, and this one was a roll and write game where you're moving around and you had to give, I don't even know. I don't even remember. Team Up! This was a game I got at Gen Con, and it had really nice wooden pieces. It came in a cool slide-up box, which was full of these wooden pieces, and you had to stack the pieces, and you were teaming up to stack the pieces. I remember playing it with the kids in my class, and they really liked it, and I was just like, okay. Okay. And I gotta go meh. But I'm gonna put it top of the meh, because I remember... You know what? It might actually be forgettable good, but I don't remember. I might have liked this game better than I thought I did. But the fact that I can't even remember if I like this game should tell you a lot about this game. D-Day Dice. And then again, I do want to mention, I'm not the biggest fan of stacking games. Like, I have to be in a mood. I only want to play those normally when I'm, like, drunk or something. Like, just as a mechanism, stacking. And the reason why I got attention deficit hyper disorder, it just doesn't mix as well. D-Day Dice is a good game. It's a really good. Yeah, really good. So I'm going to put it towards the top. And actually, I'd rather play at the King of New York. It's a really good dice rolling game that recreates like World War II stuff, and there's all sorts of different types of dice. It's got like 1 million expansions, and dang it, am I forgettable? We got to go top of forgettable good because I don't remember much about this game. But yeah, right there, man, that hurts. That hurts. That's one that I think that if I did own it, though, I will say I think it would be to the good and potentially great category. I have a feeling that when I'm driving around the country in an RV, games like this, I might be in the great category. Martian Dice, good category, good game, good little game, dice rolling game. You got to capture chickens and cows and humans, and you're trying to get different sets of it, and it does press your luck pretty good. And I remember so many meta games that are good if you're into the theme. Yeah, that's another thing too. It's an interesting point. I hadn't really noticed that. Martian Dice, good. It's good. It's not as good as Rally Roll or Yahtzee. But I would rather revisit than Sanctum, because I know Sanctum is going to be a big time investment, and I know Martian Dice could probably play it 7 times. It's a good game. I still own it, actually, too. All right, Rat Trap. This one, forgettable good. Pick this one up in Essen. It's got a really unique box with like a hole in it, which makes it easier to slide out. And I remember this actually had some really cool... You know what? This is going to the good, because this is really starting to come back to me why I kept this game. This was in my classroom as well, because I wanted to get it played, but it didn't hit with the kids as hard. But this was a game where you essentially were laying down cards, and then you put those cards in order, and if you're the first person to get to a rat trap, then they would you would die because you would get slapped by that, and so the second person would get the reward. And I remember it had a really cool, it really worked well, and there's some cards that made things interesting and spiced up the game, and I'd rather revisit it than Yahtzee. All right, Batman. This is zombie dice, but with Batman and some power-ups, if I recall correctly. And I was really surprised that this game did not hit harder. And I remember playing it 2 or 3 times. I think a friend of mine had it, and it was good. And honestly, I think it could be in the great category if I owned it, but I don't remember that much about it. I do remember, man, dang it, I gotta go top of... No, it was zombie dice with Batman. But with... I gotta go top of the forgettable good. Right there. Yikes. These 3 right here. A lot of these games, I think if you just had less games in your collection, would hit the table more often. Yeah, this isn't a theme that I care much about. Push your luck is a nice way of saying random as hell. That's fair. That's fair. And I think with a press your luck dice game, the key is it just can't outstay its welcome. Man, bad. And I hate the fact I have to give you the disclaimer every single time. We're going to put it there. Nope, we're going to put it there. Because at least with they were 8. Like this game we mock, and we get fun out of mocking it. So this is Marvel Battle of the Champions. It is essentially a King of Tokyo-looking press your luck game with Marvel superheroes. Tons of Marvel superheroes and really cool-looking pieces. And it looks amazing, but it's just a god-awful, terrible, stinking mess of a game. And it's just, if I recall correctly, flying is just completely broken. If you get a flying character, you're going to win. Just period. And I'm not saying that to be tort or something. Tart, I think is the word. I don't remember. It's not a good game. Really bad. Don't test it. Don't test this theory either. Biotics, forgettable good. Still own it. It's cool. It's about these little diseases. I think it had Petri dishes in it. It's from Smirk and Dagger. And it's a good game. It's good. If you have a smaller collection, you know what? I just don't get pressure luck games to the table that much, I don't think. Yeah, so Biotics, forgettable good. And, yeah, right there. I'd rather revisit than Herbaceous Sprouts. Alright, Fireball Island. Such an interesting game. I'm looking at the new version. I never played the original version. Played the new version with all the expansions. A buddy of mine let me borrow it. I brought it in my classroom. Thought it was going to go over well. The kids liked it, but at the same time, it was just... I'm not going to go meh, because it was still fun. It's enjoyable. It's cool. It had great moments. But just for the amount of setup it was, the amount of takedown it was, it didn't spark. It didn't light up as much as I wanted it to. And so I'll put it right there. In between Cosmic Windbap and Dice of Crowns. Because I really do want to get Cosmic Windbap back to the table. I think I got rid of it, though. Russian Roulette. I'm going to go with the great on this one. This is a game where there's 6 different phases. You got a card in front of you. It does it really great. Where you are playing Russian Roulette with people, and it's a press your luck game because you're trying to essentially flip over cards. And if a card says bang, you lose one of your lives. It's not going to be a theme for everybody. You can also try and cheat by putting the bullet into your pocket secretly, but other people can call you out on that, and if they do, then it's bad for you and good for them. And it is just a really stinking well-done game. It does not outstay its welcome. And, yeah. Ooh, which one's higher? So these are both Tuesday night games, and they put out some dang good stuff. Yep, I'd rather play World Championship Russian Roulette. Yeah, great game. Don't let that one fly on your radar if you've never played it. This one, Grimslingers. Very bottom of the grade for me. I really stinking enjoyed this game when it came out. The rules were not perfect, and I know since then they've redone the rules and tweaked some couple things, but it's a rock, paper, scissors-esque mechanism, and I remember one thing that really appealed to me was I played through the entire story, and I enjoyed the campaign, and I thought it had a pretty good story, and I remember it had 3 or 4 different game modes, and I remember all of them being pretty stinking good. But I am not giving enough vivid details here to really remember why I put it in the great category. So I think, despite the fact I gave that a Bauer's Best Seal, you know, the price is in the pudding, whatever the hell that expression is, because I haven't got this one back to the table in a very long time. And I would rather revisit Freedom of the Underground Railroad. Because, yeah, I would. Okay. Big Score. This is a cool game from the people who brought you that other game. It's pretty good. That's great. Very descriptive. This was a bank robbery game where I remember the interesting thing about this. I gotta go forgettable good here. I played it twice. And I remember the interesting thing was at the end there was like this big event that could happen. It could completely shake up the game. And I don't remember a dang thing about that event. And because that must have not really resonated with me. And I would rather... I'll put it right there. After the next game, I am going to take a slight 18-second pause. Just a heads up. So we'll talk about one that's going to be a quick one. And we're going to go with... Ooh, what's a good quick one? Come on. What's a good quick one? Clumsy Thief. This one is a game that I still own, but only purely for math reasons. Because the crux of this game is that you're trying to put two numbers together to equal 100. And you were thieves or something? There was good artwork. I don't remember a dang thing about this, but it was a good educational game. Forgettable good educational game. That's still a thing, right? So where does a forgettable good educational game go? Right there. Because I do remember playing that in my classroom 20 or 30 times. Just playing a lot of it because it really helped kids with their addition skills. But 18-second pause. All right. I feel like I'm making some decent time here. Got a lot of games up here. Got a lot of games down here, though, so let's keep pumping through. All right. Monsters and Maidens. This game was meh. This was a Game Salute game, and it was, I remember it was on a different crowdfunding service than Kickstarter, and that was what was like, oh my gosh, they made something, and I don't remember what it was, and I don't remember anything about this game. I remember there was dice, and I think you could flip your card to be a boy or a girl, which is cool, whatevs. That's all I remember. And I have not much desire to go back and revisit it, now that I think about it. But it was short, and I put it right there. Alright, Train Maker. This one's from Chris Leader. I remember this is rolling dice and trying to make different trains. I actually played a prototype of this before it got kickstarted, but then I think I got picked up by another company and made even nicer. And I remember thinking it was good and really enjoying it to a certain extent. Almost thought about keeping the prototype, which I didn't. I don't remember anything else about this game. Forgettable good. Forgettable good. Oh, press your luck games. Forgettable for me. And yeah, right there. I'd rather go Cosmic Wimpbout. Being strong there. Feast for Odin. Great game. And I do want to put a caveat on this. I'm going to put it towards the top of the good because I've played it twice. And I don't remember it that much. No, I can't do the top of good. Yeah, I got to do the top of good. Top of good. I remember what I enjoyed about this game, and this is another, I think it's Rosenberg, the same person who did Caverna and Agricola. I remember what I liked about this game was there was like a million choices. Like, there was always choices, and it was like worker placement where you were trying to... What the heck was there? I'm sure there was a bunch of different ways to score points. I'm sure one of them was a press your luck style way, which is how it snuck onto this list. And Feast for Odin was very, very good. But I'm not going to go great. I just can't go great because I would just rather play Caverna. There's a lot of other games in that same ilk. No, there's not. There's only like just Caverna is so dang good. You know what? I'm going to put it at the bottom of the great. But it could go to the good. And I haven't played with the expansion as well, so it could even potentially go higher. So that game has a lot of wiggle room for me, and I love when games do that. You know, some games, like, they're never coming out with an expansion for Beowulf, but this game could still get better. They could come out with Feast for Odin Legacy, for all we know. Arkham Ritual. This is a meh game. I don't remember much about this game. The push your luck is just in the hunting part. It's not a big part of the game. Yeah, I didn't think it was, because I think I actually played it with you one of the times I played it. Arkham Ritual. I don't remember anything about this game. I remember playing it once or twice on game night and then not shooting a video for it. Yeah, my bad. But hey, honesty on Power's Game Corner. and just never wanting to revisit it ever again. And I think it was just, it was a social deduction game, I think, a team game, and it felt kind of, I don't think the rules were the best or something. I just never wanted to go back to it. It's still on my shelf, because one day I will make a video on it. Because I don't get rid of a game until I make a video on it, or until my house burns down, or until I die. Wow. That's how long I'm doing Bowers Game Corner, people. Arkham Ritual, though, is meh. And I would rather try and remember it. No, I'd rather play with my kids. Red light, green light. Holding it down in this column. I like how I have 2 games just holding it down because I'm like, yeah, at least I can play with my kids. Alright. So what do we got? Oh, Pocket Football. This was crap. That was a crap game. I actually just rewatched part of this review a couple weeks ago, or else it would be Unforgettable bad. But since I watched the last minute of my video on this, as I was like trying, because I was thinking about doing a sports game list, if I recall correctly, there was like no choices to be made at all. It was just like, hey, roll the dice and stuff happens, and it was not good. But at least it had dice rolling. They were, hey, I hate you. I hate you so much. And look at that! Champion, no. Pocket Football was like way shorter than Champion, so we'll go with that. Oracles of Delphi. This game, I don't know why this game was not more popular. It was Stefan Feld, I want to say, and it was a race game, and it was a pretty stinking good race game. But it was also, if I recall correctly, there was different ways you could approach the race and essentially decide how you were going to do the race. And it was good. Forgettable good. Because I don't remember much about the game. And I'm also going to put it right here. I think it might be better than some of these other games, but I go with the time length. You know, I remember Oracle of Delphi. That was like a 2-hour time length when I'm learning the rules as well. Didn't keep it. Frankie Rockin' Vegas. This is such a weird game. This is a really simple dice rolling game. I'm looking at it right now, actually, on top of Ticket to Ride New York. My son really enjoyed it. I think you roll the dice, and Frankie's in Vegas. Like, yes, Frankenstein. It has nothing to do with Frankenstein or a Las Vegas theme. It's just completely pasted on there. And I don't remember what the cool gimmick was. There was like a cool thing with the dice rolling where like you could score a bunch of points for doing something. I don't remember it. So we got to go Forgettable good. Wow. Last time I did this like 2 or 3 times, there was just the great was overflowing with player elimination. And now the Forgettable good is just overflowing. And Frankie Rock in Vegas, I'd rather revisit than the big score. No. You know what? Actually, I'm going to go big score right here. Because Biotics, a little bit more is coming back to me on Biotics. Yeah, it's a big score. You're losing a little respect there. All right. A lot of time, the difference between Forgettable good and good is how easy the rules are. Pass the pigs. Yeah, that's a great point. That's a spectacular point, too. Yeah, Pass the Pigs. Is Pass the Pigs really better than Oracle of Delphi? Hell no. But I know I could get Past the Pigs up and played before I even finish the Oracle of Delphi rule booklet and not begin explaining to people. Which I think is an important aspect of games that, you know, it is what it is. Oh, don't want to forget this one. So yeah, this one is actually a box that's like really long this way. This is Zombie Gotcha. I almost played this with my son today. So this is it's not in the Forgettable bad. It's actually going into the good category. It's a gimmick game where the gimmick is you're taking cards from the zombie's hand, and after a certain number of cards, like the zombie hand goes, ah! And it's terrifying, and it gets, ah! It's so scary, and it's so fun, and the zombie hand looks cool, and it's really neat, and it's a fun little game. Storage-wise, you immediately throw away the box, which just means you have this zombie hand that sits out, and everything doesn't fit into the zombie hand as well as you'd like it to, so you kind of have to get creative with how you shove it all in there. But still a good game. Good mass-market family-style game. And I would rather play it. Yeah, I'll go with Codenames. Because once again, I'll be playing with my kids. Agree. Oracle of Delphi is a great race game. All right. And yeah, I do remember thinking it was really, really solid. It's just, it could be, yeah, you know, I really, really enjoyed it, but I don't remember enough about it to put in the good category, which means it goes in the Forgettable good. And so it looks bad down here. It's weird. I got a weird ranking schedule. How I do stuff. Myth. So this one had really nice components. Except for one, which was, this was a board that was a pop-up board. So when you popped it out, it would like, and you would go around and you were these mice and you were trying to collect the golden cheese, and it was rolling dice, I think, or press your luck. It was, I remember what really annoyed me about this game, and I actually bought this game because I was so excited about it at Gen Con one year because I was excited to play in my classroom, was the first time I opened the board, I opened it a little too much, and it broke it, and so I had to super glue it, and I was like, what the hell is this? And then it sat on my shelf for like a month or two because I was so mad at the game. It got punished for its poor components, which is a shame because the rest of the components were actually really stinking good. And I don't remember anything about what you do in this game. I think there were cards you play or something, dice you roll, who the hell knows? But I remember it was about mice collecting cheese. I remember it went over pretty well when we did play it in my classroom. I remember there was a dragon and the artwork was great. But forgettable good, just absolutely dominating right now. And this goes a little bit higher because I know I'm going to be playing it with my kids. I mean, you could play it on game night, but I don't think you'd want to. Right there. Right there. But Dragon's Cave, I think, is a better game. All right, Balloon Pop. This was another one of those aforementioned small box games from Tasty Minstrel Games. However, I actually did enjoy this game a good deal. I thought it was a good little game. I think I think you can play it 1 or 2 players, but it's pretty much just a solo game. And nope, it's forgettable good. You're rolling dice and trying to get to the top of these lists without going too high, or else your balloon pops or something. Man, forgettable good. So many. So many. This is a mice collecting cheese, like Viva Topo. I have not played that one. Balloon dice. Yeah, this one was solid. Solid. Right there. Head of Frankie's Rockin' Vegas, but not quite Biotics. Tricks or Treats, the card games. This one has a special story behind it. This is Emerson Matsuki's, I believe, first game, if I recall correctly, if I'm thinking of the correct game. And it was actually a good game. Forgettable good. You were trying to get candy. I don't remember much else about the game. But I do remember when I shot an interview with him, he revealed to me that Spectre Ops was coming to Plaid Hat Games, and I was like one of the first people to get the scoop, so that was cool of him. And this was a good game. Forgettable good. I think I actually still own this game, because I did enjoy it. I was like, I'm going to play this as a family game when I get older, and I never have. So, for that, we go right there. All right. Whew. Francis Drake. This is a very good game where you are sailing around the sea and you're playing as like the Francis Drake time period, and you're collecting barrels and forgettable good. God damn. So I played this 3 times. It's from Eagle Griffin Games, and it's a good game. I want to stress, this is a good game, but if I can't explain it to you, it's a forgettable good game, because that's the name of the freaking list. So I feel like this one should be right next to Oracle of Delphi, one way or the other, and I think I enjoyed it more. I do. My buddy Chico owns that game. I want to play that again. I miss you, Chico. Coconuts! Coconuts is it good or is it great? So Coconuts is a really fun little game where there's going to be these cups set out in front of you, and you're trying to take this little monkey, and you're trying to flick the... You know what? It's great. The more I think about it, the more... This is a great family game. And... Right there for me. And it gets even better if you add Coconuts Duo, which makes it a 6-player game as well. And Coconuts Duo itself is a solid game too. But this is a game where essentially you're trying to flip these little coconuts into the thing, and then you're trying to make a stack for yourself. And there's like red ones that do cool stuff. And I remember there's like special cards where other people will cover your eyes. You're trying to blow stuff down. And it's a great little family game. You are going to lose some coconuts from time to time. They look like chocolate-covered peanuts. But I have probably played this game 50 to 100 times. My son absolutely adored this game for a short time period. Like, we played this like 10 times once in a week. And my classroom loved it as well. Formula D. Good game. Good game. I remember this. I really enjoy this game. This is one that I would love to own one day. It comes with like 1,000,000 tracks as well. And it's a dice rolling game. And the pressure luck aspect of it is you can go super fast in this game. But if you do, it can really penalize you. Or it can really, absolutely catapult you to winning the whole stinking game. And that's the beauty of a press your luck game right there. And for that, they got it. And they got it correct. And I would rather play this than everything else in my good category. Man. That's one that if I probably owned it would be great. I really enjoyed that. Escape. The Lost Temple. This one did not do it for me. I hate to do it. you're rolling dice and you're exploring the temple, and my buddy's got like the whole big box, if I recall correctly, and he was like really excited to play it, and I just, every time it never really resonated with me. And I do know that this is a good game for most people, and I would say it's good to great for most, but for me, it did not click for one reason or the other. Escape the Curse of the Temple, meh for me. Controversy! Summit. This is a mountain climbing game. It was from Connor McGooey. I love that name. From Upside Down or Inside Up Games. I hope you feel this. And it was good. I did a Kickstarter video for it. And then I think he got upset with me because I didn't realize I was supposed to keep the Kickstarter version of it. Or something like that. I don't remember exactly what the story was. But if you're going to give a reviewer a copy of the game, make sure you mention at the beginning if they need to actually ship that game to someone else. And I don't remember. And I think this was his first game, so that was just like something you learn. But I don't remember why I enjoyed this game, or if I did. So that means I got to go mad, right? I don't remember anything about this game. I played it three or four times. I actually played it in its final version at one point as well, and it just never stuck with me. I don't remember if it's good or it's bad, which means that's a meh. That is a hardcore meh. But I would rather go revisit Escape, because I hope that I would love Escape so I could play with Adam. Welcome to the dungeon! It's a real fun game! It also has an expansion if you want it, but you don't need it. And I don't remember the name! I think it's Welcome Back to the Dungeon. And it was good. It was press your luck. You try and go deeper and deeper and deeper into the dungeon. I probably played this game 5 times. Because remember, this was one of the 2 of my buddies had, and it was like one of their go-to filler weight games. And you get tiles, I remember, that like level you up or something. Man, forgettable good! God, why don't these games resonate more with me? That stinks. Welcome to the Dungeon, I think, is a good game, but I cannot tell you a dang thing about it. So for that alone, we go right here, and I think I'm going to split it between those two. No, I can't do that. Oracle Delta. You know what? I think they go in front, just because these are 2-hour time investments. Once again, 2-hour time investments. And if I've already made that 2-hour time investment, I said, yeah, this is a solid game, and then I didn't get back to it for years and years and years, there's a reason for that. I owned this game, and yet I ended up getting rid of it. Why? Because I'm not telling you. Queen of the Hill. No, just because it didn't get played. Queen of the Hill. This was a Kickstarter, and I remember it was a little card game. Think about this stack of cards, and it was good. It was forgettable good. God, it was forgettable good! And I never got a final version of this either. Urgh. Actually, I've done 2 Kickstarter videos for them, and they never sent me a copy of the game. I think I did them both for free. Anywho, I don't care, because both those games were forgettable good. And this one, this is becoming such a slog in the forgettable good category. Ugh. Well, I hope we don't see too much of that in other lists. Cosmic Run is a great game in which you are trying to roll dice, and it's, if I recall correctly, it's a race game where you're trying to race to get to the top of the different numbers, and I think it had a Yahtzee-esque mechanism. But dang it! Am I putting this in the good? I am, because I don't remember it that much. Oh, that hurts. But towards the top of the good. It's a very good dice rolling game. It's my favorite Steve Finn game from Dr. Finn's Games. But I can't remember that much about it. Top of the good. I would rather play it than these ones, though, because remember it was a relatively punchy game. I think it was about 30 to 45 minutes, and it was a good 30 to 45 minute game. That game could definitely be in the great category if I got to the table more. But why don't I get to the table more? That's why it's in good. Dino Hunt Dice. Man, what a missed opportunity here from Steve Jackson Games. So this was in a smaller container than Zombie Dice, and it was a simplified. It was quite literally Zombie Dice, but with a dinosaur theme on it. It was Don't Get Stepped On by the Dinosaur. So it was more of a kid-friendly game, and I played the snot out of this in my classroom. This is another game that probably has gotten played easily over 100 times, and actually, I think I let my friend Eric borrow this, and his family loved it so much they never gave it back to me, and I was like, you know what, that's fine. And so for that, I gotta go great, right? I mean, I gotta go great if it is literally just Zombie Dice, and I love Zombie Dice. But that being said, they never came out with expansions for it, which is why I say it's a missed opportunity, because I really do think that but they know their sales. They know their sales. It's a great little game. It is a great Zombie Dice. No, I can't go great. I can't. I gotta show some respect here. Put it right there. Put it right there. Because part of the reason why Zombie Dice is in the great category, and not just the very, very good category for me, is that Santa Claus expansion, which just makes it a banger. Sutaku. Ooh, voice is going. Sutaku. This is a Japanese number game where you roll dice and then you try to stack the dice on top of each other, and it was a good game. The thing was, you could press your luck, and I remember there was like a way you could score a whole boatload of points. I remember there was like an optional play mode you could add, so there was a good deal of game in here as well. I remember the dice were really nicely made, and there was a little fold-out board, and it really was just trying to roll the dice, and so you'd have to put the 3 on top of a 2, or on top of another 3, or on top of a 1, and you had to put them in numeric order, and you were trying to get a Sutaku, which is like when you got all the dice on there, and it was good. I remember enough about this to not put in the forgettable good, and I think I still own this. I actually do enjoy this as a solo game as well, and for that, oof, no, I can't do that. I can't do that. No, right there. Right there. Oh, Dungeon Roll. This is one of my son's current favorite games right now. This is a Tasty Minstrel Games one. This is one of the first, like, really big breakout hits for Tasty Minstrel Games. And if you were at Gen Con that year, I remember everyone was freaking carrying around this game, if I recall correctly. They must have sold thousands of units of that. It comes in a cool little treasure chest. It has tons of little tokens in there. You pull the tokens out. You get your own little character, and you can upgrade them along the path. And the game was good. It's a good little game. I still enjoy playing it. There is one thing that I think it's best as either a solo game or a two-player game, because the more players you get, it pretty much just is multiplayer solitaire, which will be a turn-off to some people. But it's fun to go dungeon delving with Dungeon Roll, and I will put it in the game category, and I will put it above Martian Dice, above Yahtzee, and above Rat Trap, because, I think it's going to outlast Rat Trap for me, Sutaku. Yeah, and this one goes a little bit higher for me because my son, my 8-year-old now, my 8-year-old son, Sean, absolutely adores that game. All right, we're going to do one more, and then we'll do another 18-second pause, which I do apologize for. So we're going to go with, what's one that it's going to be a quick one. Potion. This is a good little game. It comes in a little pill bottle, oddly enough, and I don't remember anything about it. It's like 5 minutes game. Dang it, forgettable good! I see it right there. I know it's a fun little filler game. There's like, you're trying to figure out who has what or something. Forgettable good. So much. Press Your Luck is not for me. Firmly not for me. And put it right there. 18-second pause. Whoa. Refueled, ready to go. Whew, okay. 132 games is an absurd amount of games. But I tell you what, we're working our way up to cooperative, which I will say that is going to be it's going to be like 200 games. It's going to be stupid. But most of the lists are normally going to be in the 40 to 70 range, I do think. But man, there's a lot of Press Your Luck games. Voila! This is a good game. I still own it. Oh man, no, it's forgettable good. I remember the big gimmick with this is I remember enough about this. It's a timed stacking game where you have to stack things in a specific way, and you're trying to do it super duper fast. And I remember it was really stressful and tense, and a game that I really enjoyed. It's from Brain Games, and they had some low-key solid games. Om Nom Nom, I think, is a great game. This one, though, I put in the good category. But where? I remember really enjoying the sense of tension. And I will say about this game, I enjoyed this. I always mention it when I enjoy the game least at the table. This is one of the quite opposite, where I was the one who enjoyed the game more every single time than everybody else. So take it with an asterisk, but I'm going to put it... I'd rather go revisit this than King of New York. Take that, King of New York. What was this one? Oh, what was the name of this game? Most Wanted. Forgettable Good. Towards the top of Forgettable Good. I'll give it some respect. I think this was a blackjack-style game. I don't remember. And here's the thing. I played this game 5 or 6 times because I remember they had this cool thing set up at Origins. So one thing that I'll let you behind the scenes, and I always love to let you behind the scenes. And if you're interested in behind the scenes, be sure to check out the Q&A I'll be doing pretty soon because I'm trying to hit 7,000 subscribers, do a 7,000 subscriber Q&A. But they paid to like rent out the bottom of this bar. I believe it was at Origins or Gen Con, one of the two. And they invited a whole bunch of press there, and they dressed up in like these Western-themed things, and we were sitting at poker tables, and we actually got to play the game, and everybody walked out with a copy of the game, a review copy, and they really did a good job with buzz on that game. But even with that, even with all the reviewers pretty much having the game in hand and having played the game, because that was the thing, you had to play the game in order to get the game, which is good on them, it's still, I don't think this made much of an impact. So which, I mean, gotta go forgettable good. But I do remember the rollout for the game was cool. But I don't remember a dang thing about this game. And I'd rather play Balloon Pop. But I would like to go revisit over Frankie Rockin' Vegas. I remember there was like this little stair thing you were climbing. It was cool. Man. Alright, Fight Your Friends. This one is currently in the... meh. It's gotta go meh. Because I remember enough about this game that it's not forgettable, and I didn't think it was particularly good. So this was a game that was kickstarted mainly because, and I'm speculating here, obviously, they had like 60 different comic book characters in the game, but they were all from really lesser-known comics, like stuff, like I went and looked and I didn't know any of the people in the game at all. But by doing that, they essentially had 60 fan bases who were invested in this game, and that's, I'm assuming, how they got it made on Kickstarter. And it was a really simple two-player... card game where it's like you look at the attack versus defense and it's special abilities, I think. But I don't even remember if it was good or bad. And I played this last year. Like, I played this 3 or 4 times last year with my son. The rules, I remember the rules were not the best. The rules left me slightly confused. Which, yeah, I'm trying to... You know what? There's too many games to try and explain to you why it's in the meh category, but I think it's meh. It wasn't good. I don't remember thinking it was good. I think it was, like, okay. But... yeah, right there. I'd still rather see Arkham Ritual again. Alibaba. This is a good, forgettable good. Dang it! It's a forgettable good children's game. I still own it, and it's where you're looking for treasure. They rethemed it to something else later in the future. I remember that when I shot the review of it. But I don't remember it. Man! I don't remember a dang thing about this game, but I do remember it went over well in the classroom. Kids had fun with it. I had fun with it. Which means it would probably be in this range right here, but it didn't have a bunch of component issues. It didn't have the component issue like Myth did, so I'll put it right there. But man, it did not leave an impact on me. Same with Ninja Dice. You know what? Ninja Dice is an interesting one. So Ninja Dice comes... You know what? Ninja Dice is going to go to the very bottom of the good. No, it can't go to the bottom of the good. It's kind of in that Smuggler's range. Yeah, I'm going to put it above Smuggler's. Where it had such an interesting thing that it was doing that I remember the game... But I don't really remember why I liked it that much. So it was a dice rolling game, and what was neat about this game was there were like these arrows on the dice, and the direction that the arrows were facing would like make like an actual like it would be part of the board. And so it was cool. I remember there's some expansions that would fit inside of it. And the reason why it's going into good and forgettable good is because I'm so sick and tired of putting stuff in the forgettable good, was because it came in this really cool ninja-looking pouch. And you can actually see it right there. It looked like ninja eyes. And it was a fun little game. But it probably should be a forgettable good. Dang it! Yes, it should. No, I remember enough. I'm sick and tired of forgettable good taking over. Islebound. Once again, the forgettable good. Now, this one with an asterisk, I think I played it once or twice, and both times as high as a kite. And I remember you're sailing around, and you flip it over tiles, and it looks, the art, it's Ryan Lockett, so the art looks good. It's from Red Raven Games. But the thing with Red Raven Games, none of the games have ever amazed me. Like, I think, played 3 or 4 of his games, and every single time I'm like, it's good. I can live without it. I don't need it. And, yeah, I'm going to put it right there. Like, because I'm looking at this and it's like, which of these games would I rather own? I'd rather own Fireball Island. I'd rather own this. I'd rather own that than Islebound. Which I think most people would put it into the... No, I think most people probably put it in the forgettable good. Yukon Saloon. This was a Kickstarter one. Islebound, High as a Kite optional rules. And I've thought about doing that before. I've thought about... never mind. That's too much. Too much Forrest talking right now. Let's get to talking about Yukon Saloon and why it's a forgettable bad game. Which hence means that I can't really talk too much about it because I don't remember. I did a Kickstarter for this one. I remember the crux of the game was you were trying to like put hair and beards on bears and stuff and lumberjacks, and it was like, oh cool, look, we got this meta theme. But the game wasn't that good, and I don't remember that much about it. But I know it was shorter than Caro. And I know that one of the games in 5-packs was better than this. So I gotta give respect to 5-packs. Holding it down in the Forgettable Bad 5-packs, which you will never ever get to play because it didn't fund on Kickstarter. I don't even know if that one went to Kickstarter. The Adventurers. This one is a really cool game where there's like this ball and it's coming down and it's trying to kill you. And I don't remember anything else about this game. I played this twice when I first got into the hobby, like the first couple of years. And I remember being like, man, I'd like to own that game. I think it's pretty neat as a family game. And I don't remember anything else about this game. And judging by the fact that I've never heard anyone really talk about this game, I think that's also the general consensus for a lot of people. Unfortunately. But I would really like to revisit this one to see what tricks were up its sleeve, and I would rather revisit than Biotics. Oh yeah, Mr. Spy, You're About to Die or something. This was a small box, tuck box from Cheap Ass Games, I do want to say. And it was a cool little game. It was a forgettable good, it was a forgettable good little game. Stop it! This is overflowing. I should do another list. My top 48 forgettable good push your luck games. Oh, that list would be terrible. I don't remember anything about this game, but I remember how it made me feel. Cosmic Wimp Out. No, Mr. Spy. No. Right there. It's way. I own this still. I kept this, so it must have been better than that. I did a review on it, so yeah, we'll bump it up. I at least got to put it above the games that I still don't own, right? I feel like that's fair. No, I'd still rather go back and revisit Cosmic Whip Out. I would watch that. That one I would probably... I don't even know what the hell that list would be. That's a little too off the beaten path for me. This is Blackjack. Yeah, Blackjack. Hey, don't blame me. Blame Board Game Geek. They listed it as a press your luck game because it is. And I do enjoy Blackjack. I think it's a good game. I don't enjoy it to the extent I enjoy poker because with Blackjack, it's just really... There is a certain way most of the time that you probably should play, and yeah, I'll go good, but I'm not feeling... I enjoy Blackjack, so I'm going to go good. It's just I love poker so much that I would never play Blackjack over poker, ever. But I still think Blackjack is a solid game, and I enjoy gambling Blackjack. I do enjoy sitting down at a table, especially if you can find like a cheap, like 50 cent a hand kind of table, and just sit there, have a couple drinks. Yeah, I do enjoy Blackjack. So I'm going to put it in the good category. And the fact that you can win a lot of money playing it's pretty awesome, too. Really simple, easy to learn, easy to teach. Man, I had a lot of good experiences playing Blackjack now that I think about it, and we're going to put it right there. Does gambling beat Freedom the Underground Railroad? It does. It does in my eyes. It's more press your luck than half of the other list. It is more press your luck than half the other list. That's so true. And yes, and that's... But I guess if press your luck is in your game just a teeny little bit, you might want to put it there, I guess. Alright, this one is... Oh, what was the name of this one? Quest for something or other. And I remember, actually, this person reached out to me about this game. And I remember we did like a Zoom, back before Zoom was popular, many years ago. It was a video call. And we talked a good deal about this game. We probably talked 30 or 40 minutes. I did a Kickstarter video for him. And I thought it was a solid little solo game. I think you could also play it 2 players. And I don't remember anything about this game. I never kept it. He never sent me a final version of the game, I don't think, or if he did, I got rid of it because it wasn't something that I really wanted to play again because it was forgettable good. And with that, I gotta go with meh, right? I gotta go with meh. Yeah. I don't remember anything about this game. I don't even remember why it was good in any way, shape, or form. So for that, gotta go meh. And I'd rather go revisit Dairyman. So me and Richard Ham can have a discussion. Because remember, he really did like Richard, liked Dairyman. Alright, what do we got? Wonky. This is the adult version of Wonky. There's a regular version of Wonky, and this is like an adult version of Wonky. It's a drinking game. This comes with this long tube that's like this, which is why you can only see the middle part of it. And it has really interesting, cool pieces. And I remember this being a pretty stinking good stacking drinking game. I really enjoyed both the drinking and the stacking aspect of this game. And I'm going to give this one a pass and not put it on the forgettable good because I can't give you vivid details of it. But that might have just been because I was drunk when I played this game, the 3 or 4 times I played it. Like, this is a drinking game, so I was drinking when I played it because, you know, we gotta get into the theme, right? Speaking of which, I got marijuana bingo over there. I got that in the mail. Check out the unboxing video. But, anywho, just shut your mouth, Forrest. Wonky. Unstable Party. It was good. It was good. It was a fun little game, and I think I just don't drink that much anymore. And so I got a lot out of a lot of drinking games, and that was in the Purge, if I recall correctly. So I'm going to give it some respect, and I would rather go revisit we're going to put it right there. It's good. It's good. I think if you like drinking games, and you like stacking games, that could potentially be in your great category. Because I do remember it being... No, I gotta go... No. I'm gonna go with the drunk pass, and that one goes into the good instead of forgettable good because I was drunk. Alright, you do not get that same benefit apparently when I'm high, Islebound, sorry. But we get Thieves! So this one holds a special place for me. This is one of 2 videos. Oh god, my wife is a freaking saint. This is one of 2 videos that I shot on location in the hospital while my child was being born. Not like at the actual time that they were being born, but I was like, hey, let's be cheeky and shoot a video in a hotel. Abyss, it didn't resonate with me. But Thieves is a good little gem collecting game. Dang it, it's forgettable good little gem collecting game. I hate it. I hate it. I'm so sick and tired of saying those words. There were cards, and there were gems, and it's quick. It's a 10 to 15 minute filler grade game. And I'm sure if I got it back to the table, I'd say, yeah, this was a really good game. Or just a good. Maybe not really good. And, but the fact that you've probably never even heard of this game, it tells you a lot. Alright, Codenames Duet. Still, I gotta go great. I really do. And there's the thing about Codenames. Codenames has a little bit too much stress for me, and it's been replaced by Cross Clues, but I still think Codenames Duet is a really spectacular 2-player game. And every time I've played it, I have enjoyed it to just an extensive amount, which means it's gotta go great. And it's one of my favorite 2-player games of all time, to be frank with you. Oh, the other video is what led me here. Awesome! Thanks for joining, Scott. Codenames Duet, we're going to go in the great category, because I do think it's still a great 2-player game, but I do think Iron Helm is still a better solo game, and Iron Helm is just so stinking dang good, and honestly, I'm going to bump up that over Clank. But Clank, I do believe with the Legacy game, and with the expansions, has more appeal. Like, Clank could seriously, it could start bumping up into this area. I was just playing World Championship Rush yesterday. Can you confirm it's a great game? Because I think it's a great game. Bloodborne, the card game. This game really kind of flew under the radar. They had the Bloodborne, the board game, which is obnoxiously large. There's like 17 boxes, and people post pictures of their kids on top of it. And I'm worried that the kids are going to fall down and, hurt themselves. But this was just a really interesting card game where I remember... Fudge. It's forgettable good. I think it had the mechanism where only the last person who nailed something got the kill. I think I still own it. I think the rules... I don't remember enough about this game, but I know it's good. I remember it made me feel good, and I do enjoy it, and we did get it back to the table. I probably played this 4 or 5 times, and I've played it since the review. I thought, man, this is a game I'd like to get out to the table more. And I just don't get it out from the table more, which tells you all you need to know. Cryptid, I do get out to the table. Why do I get Cryptid out but not Bloodborne? Because Cryptid's a better game in my mind. Which means Bloodborne needs to go right down here below Balloon Pop, as I think most reviewers would probably put it when they do their top 132 Press Your Luck games. Alright, Doggy Bag. This game. This was one I picked up an S in, and I remember it was a very straightforward one where you're reaching into a bag trying to drive out doggy bones or something. Oh... But I don't remember. I know it was good enough that I kept it in my classroom, so it's got to go in the dang forgettable good again. You stupid category, just die already. It was short and sweet, and I do remember. I knew it complete when I wore a younger man's clothes, and wow, that song lyric really fits this list very well. Because at one point, these forgettable good games were games that I didn't forget when I wore a younger man's clothes. Yeah, these are the non sequiturs to get on this channel. Doggy Bag it was good. It was good, I think. And we'll go right there because I'd rather play yeah, I can't go too much higher there. Cannon Buster, I'm pretty sure we already talked about you. We did already talk about Cannon Buster. I must have actually put it there on accident. So, we will continue on. Outstyle! This one is a meh for me. I don't even know if this one has shipped to you yet, which is bad for me to put it in meh. I did a Kickstarter video for this, and I don't remember if I liked it or not. Like, I would literally have to go back to the video to see if it was a preview. Because if I gave it a preview, that means it wasn't a game for me. I might have just done a gameplay with my son, I think. Which is that's a cool cop-out way as well. Where it's like, hey, I did a video for you! I don't remember anything about this game. I remember it was a basketball-themed game, and there were cards, and it came in a tuck box, I think. And this is a recent one, too. I played this like 2 or 3 times with my son, just like last year. And I don't remember it. So we're going right... No. Yeah, right there. I'd rather go revisit Arkham Ritual. Because I remember at least Arkham Ritual had some interesting mechanisms going on. That one I don't think did. This is another Pairs game. Ah, dang it. So this one goes up with Pairs, because this was a spin-off of Pairs. I remember, so Pairs is in the Forgettable Good, I do believe, which means, yeah, this one would have to be, because if I recall correctly, this was just like a special redone version of Pairs, but with like mythical creatures or something. If it was a board game, I'd rather be memorable bad than forgettable. Yeah, that's a fair point. Like, I will remember these games down here forever, for one reason or another, because they gave me a strong feeling. Yeah, fair point. But this, you know what, I like the theme better, but it's the exact same game, if I recall correctly, and yeah, look at that. It totally looks like the exact same game. And I don't remember why I enjoyed the game. Dig Down Dwarf. Did a review on this one. My buddy Adam owned it. It's from Grey Gnome Games, who also did Iron Helm all the way up here. This one is not going, this one is actually going... Oh, no. This was a gem digging game with some cool gems. I remember you upgrade the gems, and I don't remember anything else. I remember the expansion was good. God, forgettable, good! This is just like the empty calorie section of the board game hobby for me, I guess. Dig Down Dwarf is, yeah, I remember it being solid. I remember thinking, yeah, this is a fun game. I enjoyed it. When I first got into the hobby, I think I wanted to own it, because I was like, yeah, this is fun, but I don't remember anything else about it, but I do know it's quicker than Bloodborne the card game. All right, Evolution. Good. It's a good one. It's a good little game. So this is one where you are kind of building up your dinosaurs and your gene pool, and you're trying to level them up in order to survive, to get the food in the middle, and it has some really interesting, cool mechanisms. And honestly, the only reason why I'm able to talk this much about it from the Forgettable Good to the Good is because I played the original board game version of it, and I thought, man, this is pretty solid. And then I forgot about it, but then I played